I lay there, eyes fixed on the ceiling, my body shaking, but the deep longing inside me refused to fade. Logan lay beside me, his breath slipping away, a haunting stillness wrapping around him. He thought he had given me all I desired. He was completely wrong. I faced him, my fingers brushing against his chest, feeling the charged tension lurking just below the surface. His smile hung in the air, a chilling blend of laughter and apathy. I leaned in, my lips grazing his ear, the air crackling with unspoken tension. Time is running out. Contact your friends, do it now. His body stiffened, a heartbeat suspended in the air. In that moment, a fire flickered to life within him. A chilling, menacing laugh pierced the darkness. His fingers clenched around the phone, heart racing. Tap, tap. The message lingers, poised in the shadows. The clock ticked, each second a haunting echo of impending fate. Silence enveloped me, my heart pounding, anticipation gnawing at my core. All I could do was wait, heart pounding, breath held, as the seconds stretched into eternity. Before we plunge into the depths of this story, take a breath. If it seizes your heart, stop and show your support. Like the video and subscribe. Your presence is everything. Without it, the world fades to gray. Your presence means everything. Now we dive into the depths of the story. The ice in my glass disappeared, but I was lost in my thoughts, unaware of the chilling emptiness around me. The whispers circled, haunting and insistent, like shadows lurking in the darkness. My body remained in the present, but my mind was trapped in the chilling echoes of last night. I never meant to find it. I craved a trial that would push me to my limits, where every fiber of my being would be on the line. A haunting truth, a force that seizes the heart. But the haunting familiarity of the scenes, slow and deliberate, only intensified my growing dread. My fingers linger above the screen, a restless ache clawing at my insides. As despair loomed, a flicker of hope pierced the darkness. A woman stood at the center, the air thick with tension. Eyes bore into her, intentions hidden in the suffocating silence. In a heartbeat, everything changed, pure, unrestrained ecstasy consumed them. A sudden blaze ignited within me. My finger twitched, a heartbeat ahead of my racing thoughts. The video flickered to life, and just like that, I was gone. She trembled beneath their stare, her breath caught as the gravity of the moment pressed heavily upon her. Unyielding, merciless, a ceaseless tide crashing down. They closed in, a suffocating force that stole her breath and consumed her thoughts. It was a moment that seized my heart, unlike anything I had ever known. A surge of sensation washed over me, an overwhelming tide of emotion. Each wave crashed down, fierce and unforgiving, leaving me breathless and broken. Yet, it lingered in the shadows, never quite reaching its mark. Time drags on, but the memory grips me tightly. The bar pressed down, and my thighs quaked, a storm brewing within. The longing throbbed within me, a desperate murmur of untold possibilities. The video concluded, but the tension hung in the air, thick and unyielding. I craved to grasp the shadows of her feelings, to plunge into the abyss of her heart. I exhaled sharply, my fingers clenching the glass with desperation. Suddenly they emerged. Heart racing, I remained concealed, every breath a silent plea as they drew nearer, unaware of my lurking shadow. For men hover on the brink of destiny. They seemed relaxed, but an invisible tension pulsed in the air, glasses clinking softly as their words teetered on the edge of chaos. One lay in his seat, the tattoos murmuring dark secrets beneath the fabric of his shirt. Another wore a smile that concealed a dangerous mastery, his dark eyes darting around the room, barely containing a brewing storm of mischief. The whispers clawed at the silence, pulling me deeper against my will. Most women crave the wild. One of them whispered, her voice quaking with hidden yearnings. But when reality hits, they crumble. You can't hold them responsible, another whispered, tension crackling like electricity in the silence. They drift through darkness, oblivious to the yearnings that haunt them. You have to uncover the truth. A cold chuckle broke through the quiet, the sound sending a shiver through the room. A burning sensation gripped my insides, twisting with urgency. My fingers gripped the glass, a shiver of doubt racing through my veins. Whispers sliced through the silence, thick with hidden truths. Their eyes, icy and probing, locked onto me, as if I were the heart of their dark discussion. I lifted the glass to my lips, my heart pounding wildly. I sipped, the weight of silence pressing down, each moment thick with unvoiced dread. One of them caught my gaze, the mark, forever etched in shadows. "Logan, where are you?" The silence is deafening, and my heart races with every passing second. I can feel the weight of the unknown pressing down, suffocating. What if I never see you again? The thought sends chills down my spine. I need to find you. Time is running out. The name reverberates in the stillness, laden with secrets waiting to be unveiled. His gaze pierced through me, an unspoken tempest raging in the space between us. In that fleeting instant, he clutched it with desperate intensity. The edge of his lips lingered on danger, a breath from unraveling into chaos. I stared, unwavering. Logan rose, the air thick with tension as he brought the glass to his lips. He glided forward, a calm facade masking the storm of intent that loomed ominously around him. He drew closer, every step laden with purpose. My heart raced as he approached, settling into the seat next to me at the bar. He towered, a dark figure that consumed all brightness. His jaw clenched, a storm brewing within, as dark eyes glinted with a dangerous allure, whispering of hidden truths. A confidence surged from him, charged and undeniable. He lifted the glass, the liquid swirling, a storm of unspoken tension brewing within. He turned, his gaze piercing mine, a spark of curiosity igniting, but no hint of surprise lingered. "You've been listening," he whispered, his words heavy with unspoken truths. I traced the rim of my glass, my heart pounding, tilting my head to feel the electric tension surrounding me. "The pull is relentless." His smile flickered, a brief glimpse of the turmoil hidden just below the surface. "What comes next? Can you trust your own ears?" Our gazes clashed, a storm brewing in the silence. Safe, but the shadows creep, their whispers gnawing at the fragile seams of tranquility. Relentless, maybe. Shadows deepened in his eyes. The thrill faded, darkness creeping in. But lurking in the shadows, a sinister force began to emerge. A battle of resolve. He placed his glass down, his movements deliberate as he turned to face me. His fingers drummed a chilling beat on the wood, echoing in the silence. "Time is fading fast. Neither do you. It was all I ever wanted." He emptied the last drop from his glass, a haunting silence enveloping the room. With a final, deafening crash, he left it behind on the bar and vanished into the darkness of the doorway. Led me into the darkness. I surged ahead, pulse pounding. The elevator climbed, enveloped in a haunting silence. But the silence roared. Logan's body radiated heat, a tension crackling between us, impossible to escape. The tension between them was palpable, an undeniable presence in the air. His movements, calm yet calculated, crackled with an undeniable tension. Silence draped like a shroud, thick and suffocating. It was never meant to be. As we approached my apartment, a shiver of anxiety coursed through my trembling hands. But my heart was frozen in place. The door creaked open. I stepped inside, heart pounding, breath hitching. As I took a step, he emerged, a dark figure in the shadows. He pressed against the door, his very being saturating the room, as the tension coiled tightly around them. His warm breath brushed against my neck, sending a jolt of anticipation coursing through me. As I turned, our lips collided, unleashing a surge that coursed through me, electrifying every nerve. The kiss hung in the air, a heartbeat stretched into eternity, thick with everything left unsaid. Relentless, his lips pressed tightly, pulling me closer, as everything else vanished into darkness. In that fleeting instant, adrenaline surged, and doubt vanished. My fingers grazed his shirt, quaking with doubt. fingers gripping the fabric, heart racing. Is here, pressed against the cold, unyielding wall. Despair's heavy grip tightened around my heart. This was my fault, and now I was giving in to it. His presence lingered, the space between us charged with an unspoken intensity. Unwavering, a force against the storm. Mapping my body, a heartbeat of doubt echoes just below the skin. His touch sparked an inferno deep inside me. A chilling dread hangs in the air, raw and unrestrained. He lifted me, a sudden surge of strength, leaving me breathless. I stood paralyzed, yielding to what was destined to unfold. A rush of emotion carried us forward, the night unfolding around us. As I crashed onto the mattress, a gasp tore from my lips. The air froze in my throat as he towered above me. He towered above me, the atmosphere crackling with a tension that hung heavy in the silence. It was overwhelming. His closeness sent shivers through me, a silent tension thickening the air. Every movement carried a heavy burden, a tension that electrified the atmosphere. Intentional. He seized control, a tempest swirling in his gaze. What will it take to awaken the fire within me? And I stood by, watching it unfold. In a heartbeat, everything changed. A relentless hunger clawed at its core, an ache that would not be silenced. His expression darkened, unreadable, as the air between us crackled with tension. His body moved with an eerie elegance, a shadow slipping through the night. Silence shattered as tension crackled, a storm on the horizon, relentless, raising me to the edge. And in that moment of surrender, everything changed. A whirlwind of emotions crashed over me, too intense to ignore, shattering the stillness. Broken in an instant, my breath broke into pieces. My fingers clawed into his shoulders, desperation coursing through me. My back arched, a shiver racing through me as he towered over me. It was more than good. It was a moment that hung in the air, thick with unvoiced emotions. Outstanding. But just as the sensation started to slip away, just as my breath steadied, the shadows closed in. A shiver ran through me, deep and unsettling. The emptiness clawed at my insides, a relentless, suffocating force. Frozen in place, every breath a silent struggle. The space between us hummed with an undeniable energy. My heart races wildly. I fixed my gaze on the ceiling, pulse pounding, while shadows flickered ominously overhead. My body shook, overwhelmed by exhaustion. The hunger persisted, a relentless specter stalking each heartbeat. Logan's hand grazed my thigh, a jolt of electricity crackling between us, thickening the atmosphere with unspoken words. Frozen in time, contentment enveloped me, yet shadows loomed, waiting to strike. He turned to me, a brief smile flickering like a dying flame. What lies beneath the surface? Secrets waiting to be uncovered, emotions poised to erupt. The air thickens with anticipation. Are you ready to face the truth? But is there still a shadow of uncertainty? The silence suffocates, poised for a response that might never arrive. My gaze locked onto his, a storm brewing beneath the surface. My lips tremble open. My heart pounds, a wild beat echoing in the stillness. The room throbbed with a disquieting heat. The air was heavy with the intoxicating mix of skin and sweat, a suffocating presence that clung to every breath. Logan lingered like a shadow, just a heartbeat away, shrouded in darkness. His breath hitched, each gasp a haunting echo of life slipping through his fingers. His body coiled, a brief spark of triumph before chaos unleashed. A void pulsed inside me, haunting and relentless. The longing clung to the air, a ghostly whisper in the stillness. The ache persisted, relentless. My body shook, teetering on the edge of oblivion. A fierce fire smoldered within me, on the brink of eruption. I faced him, my hands trembling, heart pounding in my chest. The tension surged, electric, beneath my fingertips, a pulse of unspoken fear. His lips curled into a chilling, deliberate smile. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the abyss. Was it all a dream? I laughed, yet the gravity of my words lingered, suffocating the silence. I leaned in, my lips grazing his ear, a tense thrill electrifying the space between us. Contact your friends. Time is running out. In a heartbeat, his smile disappeared, plunging the room into an eerie stillness. In that moment, a flicker of mischief danced in his eyes, hinting at the chaos to come. A sudden light shatters the shadows. Yearning flares to life. Is this truly happening? He whispered, his voice a fragile thread in the heavy stillness. I locked eyes with him, unyielding. Do you honestly think this is a joke? Logan's laughter pierced the stillness, a chilling echo that lingered in the air. He shook his head, a frantic motion, as his hand inched toward the phone, quaking with doubt. A momentary touch on the surface, electric and haunting. A message sent, destiny teetering on the edge. He dropped the phone, and an oppressive silence enveloped the room. He turned to me, his smile slicing through the silence, sharp and unsettling. His finger brushed against my arm, a brief contact that ignited a storm of shivers through me. His voice echoed, a chilling whisper lurking in the darkness. Teetering on the edge of doubt. You have opened a door to the unknown, and what lies beyond is terrifyingly beyond your grasp. I lay beside him, the air thick with unspoken words. Breath caught, time freezes, tension thickens. A tempest rages inside, coiling tighter, poised for release. The clock ticked, each second a haunting echo of dread. In the darkness, my heart pounded, a desperate anticipation gnawing at me. All I could do was wait, heart pounding, breath caught in my throat. The knock on the door shattered the silence, sending a jolt of fear racing through me. A sudden spark shattered the stillness, electrifying the atmosphere. Instinct took over, heart pounding, as chaos engulfed everything around me. My skin burned, a relentless fire consuming me from within. My breath catches, a tempest rising inside. But it was all for nothing. Not yet. The tension hangs thick in the air, a heartbeat away from revelation. The air thickens with a suffocating tension. The door cracked open, and they surged in, fierce and unstoppable. 3 men entered, faces masked in shadows, the air thick with tension. A crushing force descended, heavy and stifling. They moved, hearts racing without a second to spare. They stood resolute, hearts pounding, conviction burning bright. They felt the heavy silence of their arrival. And thus I took the plunge. Logan hovered in the darkness, heart racing. He stood frozen, a fleeting smile betraying his fear, as shadows twisted and swirled in the darkness. His arms were locked across his chest, a fortress against the tempest raging inside. He stood on the edge, each heartbeat echoing like a ticking clock, the moment finally here. As the door creaked closed, a pair of hands seized me, holding on with a desperate urgency. A shadow looms, inching ever closer, a chilling presence lurking just out of sight. Colossal, unyielding, his hands gripped my waist, pulling me fiercely into his arms. His warmth consumed me, a suffocating hold that offered no way out. His hands, rough and calloused, whispered of battles fought in silence. They held me fast, their grip relentless. How to claim me? His breath whispered against my neck, sending a jolt of electricity through my veins. Quietly lurking, the tension thickens. His fingers grazed my belly, a silent promise suspended in the tension between us. It was a haunting game, a stark reminder of his grip on my very soul. Just as I gasped for air, a shadowy figure emerged, blocking my escape. His gaze cut through the darkness. Ravenous. A fleeting moment, joy lurking in the darkness, ready to vanish. His fingers clutched my chin, lifting it with a grip that sent icy tremors racing through me. His lips collided with mine, igniting a storm of emotions. The kiss was void of magic. It was everything. Time crawls, every second a burden, thick with tension, filled with urgency, closed in, an unyielding shadow. A fire erupts inside, spiraling wildly, devouring all that stands before it. Sparks rain down, searing my skin, awakening a fierce blaze inside. In an instant, A cold, unfamiliar hand clutched my arm. Fingers grazed my wrist, sending a jolt of electricity through my veins. Plunging deeper into the abyss, my fingers brushed against the soft skin of my thigh, sending a shockwave of sensation through my body. A touch that electrifies the air, thick with unvoiced tension. To ignite a flame deep inside. To witness the swift descent into darkness. They drew near, darkness enveloping, pulses quickening. Cast into the void. Yanked away, the world spiraled into an abyss of shadows. Drawn into darkness, each soul had a role to fulfill. One held my breath, a prisoner of the moment. Gripping my lips tightly, it stole my breath, just as it longed to escape. One gripped me tightly, a beacon amidst the chaos. Imprisoned, hope slipping away. One drove me to the brink. His fingers danced over every tremor. Each heartbeat a muted cry for help. Every jolt sends shivers down the spine. Every place sparked an aching desire deep inside me. They moved together, a chilling waltz of destiny. Certainty loomed, suffocating and oppressive. Thoughts clashed, trapped in the suffocating shadows. Just feel it all. In an instant, the world turned upside down. He whirled me around, his hold constricting, a relentless grip that stole my breath. My back was pinned against the chest of the figure looming before me. Time vanished as the first one gripped my head, a haunting tension thickening the atmosphere. Capturing my lips again, I vanished within it. It vanished before my eyes, a chilling truth that left me utterly helpless. This was never my choice. A firm grip clutched my thigh, a jolt of electricity racing down my spine. It rises, quaking with dread. And then the other one arrived. They ensnared me, every detail meticulously crafted to seal my fate. They loomed, a heartbeat from the brink of chaos. His hands clutched my waist, a vow unspoken, tension crackling between us, guiding me into darkness, relentless, unyielding, authoritative. I am weary of it all. My head tilts back, yielding to the crushing gravity of the moment. A shiver ran through me, a visceral response to the looming dread. A whisper of dread brushes against my skin. Precisely. Every heartbeat echoed in the silence. Faster. Plunging into darkness. Relentless. The hands shook. A frantic dance of desperation. Setting the stage. Transforming everything I am. They kept me prisoner, exactly where they wanted me. In an instant, my wrists were seized. The air thick with unspoken tension. And then it broke free. My hips shifted, a slight movement charged with unspoken tension, as if the air itself held its breath. The angles twisted, a heavy silence thick with tension. New sensations surged through me, robbing my breath, leaving me gasping in the wake of the unknown. Every touch unleashes a tempest inside. Every heartbeat echoes in the silence. Every shift in power trembles the ground beneath us. Flames surged within me. I let go. I surrendered. I broke apart. I surrendered. It was unforgiving. It broke apart. Chaos reigned. It was perfect until it shattered. A sound escaped my lips, quaking with unvoiced terror. A silhouette cloaked in darkness, both unknown and eerily reminiscent. A breath caught in the throat, a moment teetering on the edge. Quaking. Fragments of a once whole heart lay scattered, each piece a reminder of what was lost. Still, they moved forward, unyielding. Stopping was not an option I could face. A chill ran down my spine. It quivered, a hushed alarm resonating in the quiet. Fell, completely defeated. My mind vanished into the shadows. Each wave of pleasure crashes down, ripping me apart, leaving me breathless and yearning. I would not succumb. I was falling into the abyss. Consumed me, but it was not enough. Never before had I descended so deep into the abyss. A thrill surged through me, seizing my soul in a vice of intensity. Time vanished, swallowed by an abyss of doubt. Moments linger, thick with tension. Every tick echoes, a weighty promise of what's to come. A heartbeat lingered, echoing through the void of time. As I collapsed into their embrace, tremors of fear and desperation coursed through me. Empty, hollow, and aching, completely broken. Logan's voice vanished, a haunting whisper of joy that hung in the silence. Was this the end you desired all along? I struggled to breathe, but my power remains untamed. I reached out, every muscle coiled tight with dread. My skin ignites with a shocking intensity. My heart pounds, a desperate beat echoing in the stillness. A smile slithers onto my lips, shadowed and foreboding. My fingers brushed against my skin, the heat still smoldering, a chilling echo of their touch. Without a doubt, contentment enveloped me, yet an ominous shadow lingered just beyond my vision. I was complete. The room throbbed with heat, a palpable tension suffocating the air. The air hung heavy, saturated with the ache of desire and the pulse of life. A weight crashed into my core, heavy and inescapable. My breath hitches, a delicate sound lost in the stillness. The ache within me finally faded away. I reached out, every muscle coiled tight with dread. A shiver of recognition ignites as my fingers brush against my own skin. Still aching, it hangs in the air, a jolt of tension in the stillness. I had found it, the thing that had eluded me for so long. Logan's smile wavered next to me, a chilling vow lurking in the darkness. His voice, a chilling whisper, hung in the air, thick with a dark satisfaction. What happens next? I exhaled, the silence thick with unspoken tension. A smile, quick and piercing, flickers across my lips. The truth lurks in the shadows, waiting for time to unveil its secrets. For the first time, I was unsearching, adrift in the moment, a haunting stillness enveloping me. The truth is here, lurking in the shadows. If you were me, would your choice have been the same? Or would you have taken the safer route? Every one of you holds a story, buried deep, yearning for the moment it can break free. Reveal your secrets below. Time hangs, every second laden with dread. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for what lies ahead. Stay vigilant. A gripping story lurks just ahead. Don't let this slip away. You'll wish you hadn't. Until our paths cross once more.